What up, peeps? Tony Baker here, back with another movie review. This time I'm reviewing Abigail, a little vampire joint. Vampires. Always a good time with vampires. Always unsanitary. I always think about that. Every time I watch stuff with vampires, it's always unsanitary, man. Extra bloody, a lot of blood work, a lot of people not getting their paperwork, you know, before the blood sucking and the letting begins. You know what I mean? I feel like Twilight was kind of the most sanitary vampires. Granted, I only saw one, but I feel like they weren't too bloody. I don't know if it was because they were PG-13. First of all, if blood is gonna get you an R rating, how you gonna do a vampire story that's PG-13? It just don't even match. You know what I'm saying? You got to show the blood. You got to show it. You can't have people just dry biting. They just like, I sucked your blood. Where's the residue? We need the blood somewhere in that. Anyway, Abigail, man. So some criminals abduct a little girl of a rich guy, basically, and they've abducted the wrong girl. That's essentially what Abigail is about. They kidnapped this little girl. They're like, we gonna hold you for ransom, $50 million. The whole team that's kidnapping the girl have never worked with each other before. And so they coming in together, and then they got to stay overnight and hold the girl down until they can get the money. So they got to stay in this old school, weird looking house and just hold down this little girl until they get the monies. Good money, 50 million. You know what I'm saying? 7-9 million a piece. I don't know. That's good money, right? Sounds easy enough. And then the one girl from Scream, Melissa Barrera, I think that's her name. She was in charge of just like talking to the girl, like, I'm gonna make sure she's safe and this, that, and the third and the fifth. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. The girl is a vampire, Sheldon. They kidnapped a baby vampire. And you know when you're a vampire, you stuck in that mode. You a little girl forever. So that means you a little girl, but you 200. You 200 years old, but you a little girl in the face. So it's like, man, so now they stuck in this old ass crib with a vampire. And so I like the premise. I like the cast of characters in this piece. Dan Stevens was a intriguing asshole in this. The girl that plays Abigail, Alicia Weir, I've never heard of her. She did really good. Like the ensemble was good. And the characters were cool. Like the kidnapping crew, they were just interesting characters. So it was like, you know, this movie doesn't have a big cast. It's not a big cast of characters. Giancarlo Esposito is in here. You know, I'm gonna bring up the cast for y'all. Dan Stevens, William Catlett. I wanted to give a shout out to Angus Cloud, he's from Euphoria, and he passed away. Since I never watched Euphoria, I never really saw him work, but he's in this, and I really liked him in this. Like, he plays Dean, you know, stoner dude, that's the driver. He was really funny, though. And I was like, yo, that's the dude from Euphoria. And he was really funny, and I was just like, yo. So the cast, also Kevin Durand, who you've probably seen in a lot of different kind of movies. He's in a lot of action movies, too, like in Smoking Aces. He's this huge white dude, but he's also got like a element of like comedy to his face. He's got a lot of range in his face. He's great in this. And the hacker, Catherine Newton as Sammy. It was just a nice ensemble. And, you know, us getting to know them and who they are and what their backstory is, also while trying to survive this vampire that they got kidnapped in here. The cuffs ain't gonna work. The handcuffs ain't gonna work. Vampires be souped up. And so it's like, who's gonna survive? And for me, like, you know, when people gonna get picked off one by one, I need to care about the people getting picked off one by one. So when you establish that interesting character dynamic, it's like, all right, now I care about what happens to you. But man, when you do rated R and you do vampires, it's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be like, vampires just explode in this world. They just explode. That's what's funny about this movie. It's like, yo, you just gonna explode wholesale? You're not gonna, you know, back in the day, you know, Vincent Price and them, they get a stake through the heart. They're like, they might deflate, you know what I'm saying? They show the fangs, then they done. You know what I'm saying? They might just transition into like a withered soul or whatever. But these vampires, they just gonna explode no matter how you kill them. No matter what you use, bow. Now you covered in blood. That alone, I just can't be moving around in blood and just calling it a day. You know, I am a hypochondriac. You understand? Like this is one vampire explosion on me. I'm like, oh God, I can't. My glasses will be all bloodied up, and then I take the glasses off. My eyes are like still clear. Oh God. Call my primary. I gotta go to the clinic. I gotta see what happened here. I don't know what's in there. Man. Hepatitis? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got up in that blood. So yeah, I always think about that. But forget all that, man. Y'all want to know the smooth jazz review of Abigail. Well, here it is. Oh yeah. I'm giving Abigail. I'm giving it 4 saxophones out of 5, actually. It was really entertaining. And like the characters really, really made it pop a little bit. So I was invested the whole time. And I love a good vampire flick. I love a good vampire flick when it's done correctly. And I feel like Abigail was done correctly. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed it. So, you know what I'm saying? But man, that blood though. And they just be walking around, they be talking and just regular conversation covered in blood. I'll be like, oh yeah. I gotta go. Where's the shower? I'm gonna find the shower. But then I gotta put the bloody clothes back on. So you might as well just, I'll be naked though. Fuck it. I'll just be butt naked. And I'm like, hey man, I had to get the blood off. Anyway, I'll just be in drawers. Because my drawers was underneath, but that's neither here nor there, man. All right, peeps, that's my review of the movie Abigail. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments section below. Wouldn't you freak out on the blood tip like that? And also, too, give me your top 3 vampire movies of all time. I want to know your top 3, your favorite vampire movies of all time. Just off the top, for me, any order, I'm just give 3 of my favorites. Blade, Lost Boys. It's kind of a toss-up between Near Dark and 30 Days of Night. 30 Days of Night, to me, is one of the scariest vampire movies because they didn't even speak English. They were terrifying. So probably those for me. But let me know your favorite 3 vampire flicks in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here.